Hi teens, it's Deborah from the library, and this is part B of our tour of the All Wars Museum at the Illinois Veterans Home. If you didn't have a chance to view part A, please check out our Facebook page so that you can see the whole tour, and happy Veterans Day.
This is pewter statues of the Confederate, not all of them Confederate and Union generals. Mm-hmm. And then the artifacts in here, we have actual artifacts with it. You can actually see it when that light bulb works.
Good reason to come back and visit when they can.
That's right.
And then right here, what is neat too is that until a standard was established for money, banks, states, we even have Quincy, Illinois over there. And then when it was standardized, that got our currency on the same page. And actually, there were some private banks at that point too, to where Andrew Jackson went after the guy that owned the that particular bank because he was charging interest and making money privately, and Andrew Jackson shut him down.
Very good.
And then we have stuff with Native Americans. Dan Wagner had painted these. The brown signage denotes events that occurred with Native Americans.
And then over here we have the insignia collection.
Yeah, unit patches here, and this type of heraldry is really cool because all the symbolism means something. And
Especially to those guys who served in those regiments and infantry brigades and things.
And we had a lot of guys too with unpacking stuff has donated their patches, so we're going to have to accommodate that.
Mm-hmm, I bet. And then here we have World War I. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And what's neat too, 400,000 African American soldiers served in Europe in World War I.
Little known fact, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
We seem to have a lot of uniforms and paraphernalia from the First World War. Mm-hmm.
They had what was called, here's one, hate belts. And both sides used them in World War I. These buttons are from dead soldiers. They took the buttons off and put them on their belt. Both sides used them.
They were called hate belts?
Hate belts, yes.
My. Okay.
And this ship here, we got this out of one of the basements and found it. It was all dirty and everything. And this handmade model was done by Illinois Veterans Home resident, who unfortunately is unknown. This probably was a ship in World War I. The model is virtually a tin can, as that is what it is made from, along with some wooden pieces. You may remove the deck hatches and the stacks and on the reverse inside, but I think that one over there, that hatch fell through. Mm-hmm. So I got to get a magnet to get that out. But it's kind of folk artish, but it's still
Kinda
Still
cool.
neat, yes.
So back here are some of the faces of the fallen of Adams County World War II casualties. Can you explain a little bit about the photos painted by a local area artist?
Yes, Danny Wagner is on the staff here, and all of these oil portraits that he's painted are in chronological order, alphabetically. And then right here, that's a good place where we wanted to have these. Danny got these done first, and then Danny started painting them out alphabetically. They're double-faced on each side. And
And were these photos taken from, or were these portraits painted from photographs or?
they were taken from photographs, and where we could get the actual thing from the family, that was great. Danny used a lot of the Harold Wigg obituaries.
Okay.
And then sometimes that wasn't too good, so we took a little bit of artistic license. There was, but it's just a monumental effort by Danny.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that all the families whose family members are up here are grateful that he's, honored them in this way.
And then right here is we have a Namba Type 99 machine gun here, and with the Japanese never far away from blades or swords or anything like that. This guy that would operate the Namba, when it came time to charge, he would put a bayonet on the end of this, which nobody else had done that.
It's sort of like hearkening back to an earlier type of warfare.
Yes.
Yes.
And then that British crest up there, with our close association and being allies in World War II. And so we thought it appropriate, of course, to put that up there. And we got this out of a junkyard. It's a General Electric searchlight base for anti-aircraft guns, World War II.
Oh, wow.
Here's your sight here. Now, the operator would keep tracking the plane, and then there was an electric cable that went to a searchlight and or keeping a bead, so to speak.
Right.
And anyway, to take this off, everything is so clean inside. And you had a generator too, so you would have something like this here. That's a 90 millimeter anti-aircraft gun.
Okay. So basically, this was a searchlight to locate the planes so that they could shoot them down.
Yes,
basically.
or in the daylight,
Yeah.
you wouldn't need the searchlight.
Okay.
This is more of Salvador's work here, and then I've got a few planes in here, but Salvador is just, he's the top of the line with miniatures, because all these colors are exact. And
Does
even
he build them from scratch, or are they from kits?
they're from kits, but there's a whole aftermarket process to get
Get them accurate? Yeah.
and actually to add more detail with them with photo etch stuff that is bent in shape.
So this is a diorama of World War II Band of Brothers
Yes.
diorama.
Exactly.
Okay. And then this one is a landing of D-Day.
Yes.
Nice.
Now Joe actually contacted Tamaya, and this sector of the beach here had a different type of sand. I mean, they're specific to locations, And they had mixed that paint and sent it to Joe, and that's what he used on the sand here.
Oh, very nice. So it's very accurate, in other
Yeah.
words. Yes.
We actually have one of Hermann Goring's swords
Oh, my.
here, and one of the many swords and daggers that belonged to Reich Marshal Hermann Goring. He had a passion for edged weapons and most of them were created by master swordsmith Paul Mueller. Goring was second in command, right under Hitler. The blade is a standard Luftwaffe blade. The handle was pure ivory. This sword was confiscated from Goring's treasure train. Notice Goring's family crest under the crossguard, right there. With the miniatures here, they were used for classes of Navy, Marines, and stuff, and you have different classes on the ships. Originally, these were in a plywood, kind of like a suitcase with pigeonholes. And they would pull them out to teach the class and then put them back. And then one of the other things that we have, and I didn't mention this when we were walking through earlier, is that bulkhead marker taken from the USS Arizona BB-39 on December 11th. On December 9, 1941, at Pearl Harbor by Chief Warrant Officer Guy Cross, U.S. Navy diver. He brought this back from Pearl.
Oh.
And he was at Pearl Harbor as a diver, and then there was so much damage that they started bringing in all kinds of Navy dive teams from wherever they were around the world.
Right.
Yeah, this is N-38 Jeep, U.S. Army Korea.
The kind you see in MASH, right?
Yeah, the kind you see in MASH, and then the World War II Jeeps, two different types of those, but this wasn't one of them. But one thing that it does have is a flathead four-cylinder
Okay.
in it, and it's seized up, so we're not going to restore it. We're just going to go ahead and have a static display with this. We want to get the top, and we want to get new seat covers, and we want to get the plastic, because you talk to any Korean veterans, what's the main thing that you thought about? Is cold. So we want to have this winterized.
Yeah. Okay. And then the next display is Vietnam, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And it just has a lot of the medals and stuff like that. And then we just came across some old comic books, like they got Sergeant Rock, you know, World War II. They had Nam, the Nam comic book. So we think these are kind of like a folk art type stuff with what they are. And to me, this belongs in there. And it's called the Cu Chi Tunnels. And if you come around here, you can see a cutaway of the tunnels. This area was outside Saigon, and all these tunnels are functional. And if you take Cu Chi as a whole, there's over 200 miles of continuous tunnels. And the 25th Rainbow Division, Tropic Rainbow Division, built their base camp when they got to Vietnam right on top of the tunnel system.
Oh my God.
They got sniped on a lot.
All the time, I bet. Oh my
And
goodness.
then there's a specialized training for called tunnel rats for the military that aren't so big. I mean, you ain't gonna have a 6'4", 605
Right.
pound guy going through the tunnels.
Right.
But they could do everything underground with the hospital, chow.
Wow.
You even have an example Joe did of getting water.
Right.
Okay, these sign-in boards, we've taken these to different occasions and stuff. For instance, like down at Jefferson Barracks in St. Louis, this had South Vietnamese coming to it, Australians, and what it does is that it gives the guys an opportunity to go ahead and sign in, and that process is kind of healing too. Mm-hmm. And so you got I-Corps here, which is a northern most province, and then you've got 2 corps here, and the topography between all 4 of these is quite different.
And so this is dedicated to those who served in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm. And
And are still
the wanted cards, the deck there, those were issued to the troops to where they could identify them.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Yeah.
And then again, we have more of I stands for Iraq, and then A is Afghanistan. We have a lot more of these identifiers to put up. Okay. And we'll probably end up filling the spaces up on the brick.
I've always come by here and I've never seen, I've never been in here, and I think it has a wealth of information about local area service folks, but also just historical significance.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's so much we couldn't show either. There's
Right.
so much here.
There is so much here.
Even what you could see is more impressive
Right.
if you're here.
Yes. So when are you open here at the museum that folks can come and view your displays?
Right now the situation is that there's a lockdown on the whole campus.
Oh, there is, okay.
And
Well, I'm glad that we were able to do this virtually then. so
we're
that,
glad to
yeah,
have you guys do it.
come in and see what's out here, so that when we're not on lockdown, that they can come and check you out.
Okay, guys, thank you for coming in. We've enjoyed the visit here and the opportunity that you're giving us to be able to reach out to the community.